Starseed, look at me. The urgency you feel in your chest isn't anxiety. It's a countdown. You have been walking through this life feeling like a stranger in a land that was never meant for you. And for a long time, you thought it was a flaw. You thought you were broken. You thought you were the only one who could see the cracks in the reality everyone else takes for granted. But what if I told you that your discomfort is your greatest gift? That your inability to fit into their hollow synthetic systems is proof that you are not one of them? The gate is closing. The frequency of the planet is shifting so rapidly that those who remain asleep will find themselves locked into a reality they cannot escape. You are currently standing at a crossroads, and every breath you take is a choice between moving toward your true, multidimensional nature or sinking deeper into the artificial gravity of the old world. You have spent lifetimes preparing for this specific moment, yet you are allowing yourself to be distracted by the very noise meant to keep you suppressed. If you continue to ignore the internal alarm that has been ringing in your soul, you will reach the end of this incarnation and realize you missed the invitation. The Arcturian Council has authorized this transmission because the window is narrowing. Listen, because the frequency of this message is designed to wake up the dormant strands of your DNA. Starseed, if this message found you today, it is not random. The Arcturian Council rarely sends transmissions like this, but something has changed in the energetic field of Earth. And those who carry the Starseed frequency are beginning to feel it. I am Avila, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light. What follows is a direct transmission from the Arcturian Council, delivered without distortion. The split is not a theoretical concept waiting to manifest in some distant future. It has arrived. The architecture of the separation was laid down silently, without ceremony, in the months you marked as the middle of this year. Many of you are still trying to navigate this landscape using maps from a 3D reality, and that is why you feel a crushing, inexplicable exhaustion. You are trying to fit a multi-dimensional soul into a two-dimensional grid. Let us correct the map. There are not two worlds, but three. The first band is the collapsing third density field. We do not use the word collapsing to inspire fear or judgment. It is a mechanical inevitability. A structure collapses when it can no longer hold the weight of its own foundation. The survival-based consciousness, the obsession with scarcity, the addiction to external authority, the reflexive division of us versus them, is fundamentally incompatible with the light currently pouring into your planetary grid. This band is experiencing an acceleration of karma. Everything hidden is rising to the surface, and it is becoming impossible to sustain the old systems of control. The second band is the bridge reality. This is where most of you are living. It is a transitional field characterized by the dissolution of your old identity. You feel in between. You are too awake to participate in the charade of the old world, but you haven't yet stabilized your permanent residence in the fifth dimension. You feel the disorientation of having outgrown your old self, yet the new one feels fragile. Do not mistake this for failure. This is where the work of integration happens. You are the ground crew, and this is the workshop where the heavy lifting of transformation occurs. The third band is the emerging fifth density frequency. This is the new Earth. It is defined by coherence, unity, and the operation of synchronicity as a reliable navigational system. It is not a place you travel to. It is a frequency you inhabit. Many of you have had peak experiences, moments of profound clarity or unity where the 3D noise simply vanished. Those are genuine contacts. But there is a difference between visiting a place and having it as your address. The test is not how you feel on your best day. It is who you are on an ordinary Tuesday when your patience is tested. The 2% figure you have heard is accurate but misinterpreted. This 2% represents the leading edge of a wave that is increasing exponentially. You are not meant to be a static elect. You are a catalyst. Understanding these three bands is the first act of accurate navigation. Stop judging yourself for where you are. Acknowledge the band you are currently stabilizing, and do so with the precision of a master builder. If this resonates, drop a "I am the bridge" in the comments. Your engagement helps shift the algorithm to reach other souls currently lost in the gap. Please like and subscribe to remain aligned with the transmission frequency. Some transmissions don't come through words, they come through frequency. If something stirred in you right now, that's not a coincidence. 4,500 people have already activated their Arcturian codes, and they wish they'd found this sooner. Arcturian Secrets. 12. Hidden Keys to Awakening is a 47-page ebook with ancient techniques for conscious expansion, multidimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. Are you next? Get instant access in the first pinned comment. Only 72 hours at the launch price. Before we can discuss the restoration, you must look at the compression. Many of you feel a deep, haunting sense that your current human experience is a lesser version of what you were meant to be. You are not imagining this. You are remembering. The original human template was a masterpiece of multidimensional engineering. It consisted of 12 active strands of DNA, not 2, and 12 primary energy centers that functioned as sophisticated transmitters and receivers of cosmic light. This was not a myth from a golden age. It was a biological reality. Telepathy was as natural as breathing, and your connection to Source was an unmediated, constant flow. Approximately 300,000 years ago, a critical intervention occurred. A faction with advanced technological capabilities recognized that a fully activated human was uncontrollable, sovereign, and impossible to manipulate. They could not destroy the template, because the human blueprint is woven into the very fabric of the galactic core. So they did the next best thing. They compressed it. They performed a surgical, energetic restructuring that disconnected the upper 10 strands of your DNA from active expression. They did not delete them. They switched them off, leaving them in a dormant state that your scientists now dismissively label junk DNA. This junk is actually your greatest archive. It is the library of your divinity, compressed and waiting for the right frequency to trigger its reactivation. During this intervention, your energy system was also recalibrated. Your 12-center system was collapsed into the 7-center model you see today, leaving the higher centers dormant and detached from the higher dimensional information fields. The result was a being who was intelligent, capable, and emotionally sophisticated, but who fundamentally believed it was small, separate, and inherently unworthy of divine communion. This is the compressed template that has been running on Earth for cycles. It is a firmware update that went wrong, designed to keep you looking outward for authority, safety, and truth. The most devastating aspect of this compression is that it is self-camouflaging. Because the faculties required to see the suppression, specifically the higher DNA strands and the activated pineal gland, were the very things that were suppressed, humanity became blind to its own cage. You were taught to see your limitations as biological facts, like aging, decay, and the fear of death, rather than as the mechanical consequences of a compromised vessel. You are currently living in the final days of this de-evolution timeline. The solar events you are witnessing, the intense energies flooding the grid, and the increasing inability of the old systems to sustain themselves are all signs of the firmware patch being applied to the human race. You feel the symptoms, the bone-deep exhaustion, the inexplicable surges of energy, the frustration with the old world, because your biology is struggling to harmonize the old, compressed reality with the returning, original blueprint. Do not fear the discomfort. It is the feeling of your dormant strands beginning to hum again, finding their resonance with the incoming light. You are not breaking down. You are being restored. If you feel the dormant memory waking up within you, type "I remember" in the comments below. Let us build a field of recognition. Like this video and subscribe so you don't miss the next stage of the transmission. Your presence here is part of the Great Awakening. Starseed, we must speak of the soft rapture. You have been noticing it, the quiet, unsettling departure of souls within our community. It is not a cinematic event with fireworks or celestial horns. It is a profound, silent thinning of the veil. Many of you are mourning teachers, friends, and fellow travelers who seem to have decades of work left. You feel a sense of abandonment, but this is a distortion of the truth. When the scaffolding of a building is removed, it is not because the structure has failed. It is because the building has finally achieved the structural integrity to stand on its own. Those departing now are the first wave of souls whose mission was to hold the frequency of the New Earth template while it was still fragile. For decades, they carried a specific energetic signature in their bodies, acting as living beacons. They kept the possibility of this transition alive during the long, dark hours when the collective consciousness was too dense to sustain it. But look around you. The frequency has shifted. The New Earth grid is no longer a fragile hope. It is becoming self-sustaining. The structure is now holding its own weight. Do not mistake their absence for defeat. Their departure is the evidence that their mission succeeded. However, there is a principle here you must understand. When a highly calibrated soul departs, the spiritual function they carried is not lost. It is released. It moves from being localized in a single human body to becoming an atmospheric property. It is now distributed across the collective field. What was once accessible only through the presence of one teacher is now available to anyone whose field has sufficient coherence to receive it. The lamp has become the light itself. If you are grieving, do not rush to spiritualize your pain. Your body knows the truth of the connection you held. Grief is not a lack of spiritual maturity. It is the measure of the love you embodied. Honor that weight. But know this: those who have transitioned are not resting. They have merely moved to the non-physical side of the mission. They are now working to stabilize the timelines that you, the ground crew, are currently walking. They are the architects of the bridges you are crossing. For those of you who are still here, in a physical vessel, understand your specific assignment. You were not chosen because you were behind or needed more time to graduate. You were chosen because you possess a unique configuration of sensitivity and resilience that is required for this specific phase of the split. The year 2026 is a corridor of intense transformation. You are the anchors. Your continued presence is the physical manifestation of the mission. Do not doubt your purpose because you are tired. You are the hands, the feet, and the consciousness of the new earth, grounding the incoming light into the very soil of this planet. You are exactly where you need to be. If you have felt this shift in your community, share your story in the comments. Let us hold this space together. Like this video, and subscribe to stay tuned to the frequency of our next transmission. Everything we have discussed regarding the architecture of the split and the history of your DNA leads to this, the most practical and urgent conversation we can have: the pineal interface. You have been asking why, despite your deep devotion, your intense study, and your genuine desire for higher truth, you still feel trapped in a reality that lacks the vibrancy and unity you know is possible. The answer is not that you are lacking in faith, or that you haven't earned your ascension. The answer is mechanical. Deep within the geometric center of your brain sits a small, pine cone-shaped gland. Your scientific community refers to it as the pineal gland, but in the higher dimensions, it is known as the primary dimensional interface of the human biological system. It is not merely a gland, it is a sophisticated crystalline antenna designed to receive high-frequency photonic data, the very light of source, and translate it into biological information that governs your DNA expression, your cellular regeneration, and your perception of reality. Your ancient ancestors knew this. They called it the seat of the soul, the third eye, the crystal palace. They knew that when this gland is fully functional, the veil between dimensions is transparent. You do not need to search for higher states of consciousness when your pineal gland is active. You simply inhabit them. It is your natural baseline. However, the compression event we spoke of earlier targeted this gland with surgical precision. Over thousands of years, environmental factors, chemical compounds in your water supply, and persistent low-frequency electromagnetic interference have been used to induce calcification around the crystalline structures within this gland. These microcrystals, calcium phosphate structures with piezoelectric properties, were designed to vibrate in response to cosmic frequencies. They are meant to be your biological compass, but when they are encased in mineral deposits, they cannot vibrate. They are frozen. You are essentially a high-tech galactic receiver that has been unplugged. The signal is everywhere: the solar events, the photonic light, the love of the universe, but your internal hardware cannot register it. You feel the pressure of the energies, the headaches, the fatigue, the longing, because your body is trying to tune in, but your antenna is blocked. Do not despair. This calcification is not permanent, and it is not a sign of failure. It is a condition of the compressed template you were born into. Restoration begins with awareness. You must actively participate in the decalcification of your interface. This means being mindful of what you ingest, moving away from high-stress environments that keep your nervous system in a cortisol lock, which chemically suppresses the gland's secretion of higher-dimensional neurotransmitters, and intentionally seeking out the frequency of stillness. You are currently in the most significant window of restoration in human history. The solar maximum is literally bombarding your field with the exact light frequencies needed to thaw your pineal gland. When you feel that intense crown pressure, do not reach for a remedy to numb it. Sit with it. Direct your focus to the center of your brain. Breath. Allow the light to penetrate the mineral shell. You are not breaking down, you are being upgraded. If you are ready to reclaim your divine sight, type "I am awakening" in the comments. This simple act of declaration is a frequency anchor. Please like this video and subscribe to stay aligned with the restoration transmission. Some transmissions don't come through words. They come through frequency. If something stirred in you right now, that's not a coincidence. 4,500 people have already activated their Arcturian codes, and they wish they'd found this sooner. Arcturian Secrets. 12. Hidden Keys to Awakening is a 47-page ebook with ancient techniques for conscious expansion, multidimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. Are you next? Get instant access in the first pinned comment. Only 72 hours at the launch price. Dear ones, there is a quality of exhaustion moving through the Starseed and Lightworker community right now that is different in character from ordinary tiredness. It is the exhaustion of trying to occupy multiple distinct service positions at once. Many of you are attempting to be the anchor, the bridge, and the way shower simultaneously, without the clarity that would allow any one of them to be held with the full force of your actual soul frequency. The source of this depletion is specific. You are forcing yourself into service models that do not match your unique energetic signature. The ground crew is not a homogeneous force. Within the family of light, there are 3 distinct service architectures. The first is the anchor. An anchor is a soul whose primary service is the maintenance of a specific frequency at a specific coordinate. Their work is not relational or communicational. It is presence work. They are the stabilizing nodes of the new Earth grid. If you are an anchor, you may feel you are not doing enough because you are not loudly teaching or leading. This is a trap. Your presence, your quiet, coherent field, is literally holding the energetic integrity of your neighborhood, your family, or your town. When an anchor tries to become a way shower, they lose their anchoring strength. Stop apologizing for your stillness. Your stillness is your mission. The second is the bridge. This is the most costly service function in this corridor. A bridge remains intentionally embedded in the density, maintaining connection between the 3D reality and the incoming 5D frequencies. You are the translators, the ones who can sit at a family dinner table where the collective is entirely trapped in 3D narratives and remain grounded. You hold the tension of both worlds. The exhaustion you feel is the result of code switching between reality bands. If you are a bridge, your mission requires you to be in the world, but not of it. But you must build in mandatory recovery time. You cannot remain in the transition zone 24/7. You need pockets of sanctuary where you can return to the pure frequency of the 5D field to replenish the energy you expend, connecting the two worlds. The third is the way shower. This is the most visible function. A way shower demonstrates through their own lived life that a different mode of existence is possible. They are the teachers, the creators, and the communicators. Their vulnerability is the performance trap. The moment they start creating content for the sake of the algorithm or external validation, rather than from authentic internal overflow. If you are a way shower, your corrective is simple. Return to the silence. If you are sharing something that you haven't lived and integrated, it will not carry the light. It will only be a shadow of a truth. Stop trying to be all three. If you are an anchor, stop pressuring yourself to have a massive audience. If you are a way shower, stop neglecting the quiet, foundational work. You were selected for your specific configuration for a reason. Your heroic overfunctioning is not serving the collective. It is only burning you out. Your specific function is enough. When you align with your true architecture, your service becomes effortless. It stops being something you do and starts being something you are. Which architecture resonates with you? Anchor, bridge, or way shower? Comment below. I am an anchor, bridge, way shower. And let us align our forces. Like this video and subscribe to stay in the flow of this transmission. Beloved ones, we must address the most common, most destructive behavior currently plaguing the Starseed community, the fixer reflex. You feel the weight of the world's suffering. You look at your friends, your family, your co-workers, and you see their chains. You see how they are trapped in the 3D grid, how they are being fed the fear narrative, and your heart breaks. Your first impulse, the impulse of a lightworker, is to grab them, to shake them, to show them the truth, to fix their perspective so they can finally be free. Listen to me closely. This is a trap. It is a subtle, insidious form of ego that believes the universe is failing its mission, and that you are the only one capable of correcting it. When you try to save someone who has not asked to be saved, you are not acting from divine service. You are acting from a place of superiority. You are saying, I know better than your soul. You are violating their free will, and more importantly, you are violating your own energy field. Every moment you spend trying to convince someone to wake up, you are pouring your precious, high-frequency energy into a low-frequency drain. You are trying to fill a bucket that has holes in the bottom. You are not helping them. You are depleting yourself. And what happens when you are depleted? You lose your own resonance. You stop being a lighthouse and start being a victim of the very density you are trying to overcome. The principle of authenticity dictates that you can only give what you have already embodied. If you are frantic, you cannot transmit peace. If you are judging, you cannot transmit unity. If you are exhausted, you cannot transmit vitality. When you try to force others to change, you are prioritizing the outer mission over the inner ground. You are putting the cart before the horse. The most powerful service you can ever perform is to be so fully, authentically, and radiantly you that you become a living tuning fork. When you hold your own frequency with unwavering integrity, you don't have to convince anyone of anything. People will be drawn to your field simply because you have achieved a state of resonance that they, on a soul level, crave. They will come to you. They will ask you questions. And in that moment, when they have opened the door themselves, your transmission will be received. Stop carrying the weight of everyone else's awakening. That is not your burden. Your only true mission is to clear your own vessel. When you clear your own field, you automatically raise the vibration of the collective. You don't need to shout from the rooftops. You need to radiate from the heart. Authenticity is the only frequency that can cut through the artificial noise of the old world. Be the signal, not the salesman. Some transmissions don't come through words. They come through frequency. If something stirred in you right now, that's not a coincidence. 4,500 people have already activated their Arcturian codes, and they wish they'd found this sooner. Arcturian Secrets. 12 Hidden Keys to Awakening is a 47-page ebook with ancient techniques for conscious expansion, multi-dimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. Are you next? Get instant access in the first pinned comment, only 72 hours at the launch price. Does the fixer trap resonate with your own journey? Comment below, I am the signal, if you are choosing to focus on your own inner radiance over external persuasion. Like this video and subscribe to stay tuned to the frequency of our next transmission. We arrive now at the final movement of this transmission. You have walked with us through the architecture of the split, the mechanics of the compression, the anatomy of your pineal interface, and the sacred geometry of your service roles. You are feeling the weight of this information, not as a burden, but as the settling of a long-lost truth back into the marrow of your bones. This is the principle of final alignment, the recognition that you were never waiting for an event to begin. You are the event. Many of you have spent lifetimes looking at the sky, waiting for the big shift, the moment when the heavens open and the world is finally reset. We say to you now, the shift is not coming. It is breathing through your lungs. It is beating through your heart. The entire machinery of the Galactic Federation and the Arcturian Council is not focused on saving the Earth from the outside. We are focused on the completion of the human-led restoration from within. You are that restoration. You are the bridge between the dormant potential of the 12-strand DNA and the living expression of the new Earth. Every time you choose to remain present when the world demands you distract yourself, every time you choose to speak your truth when the world demands your silence, you are firing a signal that reverberates through the galactic core. You are not a spectator in this ascension. You are the architect. The chosen one path is not about being selected for a special status. It is about the courage to accept that you are the one responsible for your own frequency. Do not fear the intensity of these final months in the 2026 corridor. The darkness you see in the world is not a sign of failure. It is the shadow cast by the immense incoming light. When the sun rises, the shadows are longest. You are currently standing in the longest shadow of the old world, but the light is already peeking over the horizon. Your role is to stand firm. Your role is to hold the frequency of peace when the world vibrates with chaos. Your role is to be the living proof that the compressed template is obsolete. We are closing this specific transmission, but the connection remains open. You now possess the keys to your own biological and energetic sovereignty. Use them. Stop looking for external validation. Stop seeking masters to tell you who you are, and stop waiting for permission to be the multidimensional being you were born to be. The Arcturian Council has spoken because the time for preparation has passed. The time for being has arrived. You are the light you have been searching for. You are the activation you have been waiting for. You are the mission you were sent here to complete. And you have already won. Walk forward from this moment with the unwavering certainty of a starseed who knows their true origin. The grid is set. The gate is open. And you are walking through it, not as a passenger, but as the master of your own timeline. If you are ready to stand in your final alignment, type, I am the Ascension, in the comments below. Let this be your oath to the universe. Like this video, subscribe, and share this transmission with the one person who needs to hear it the most. The mission continues within you.